invited his disciples and invites us. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. You are so brave, and I am cheering you on. Introduction. March 9th, 2020. I wake up with a headache, par for the course over the last 2 years. I reach over and grab my phone to check the time while keeping one eye closed. I still have on yesterday's makeup. It isn't even the makeup from the night before. It's makeup from lunch at a little Italian restaurant in Clapham, where we celebrated my children turning 8 and 10 with close friends. I take a second to rate the category of my hangover. Darn, it's a bad one. I immediately try to think of what I must do today and when I can lie down again. It's a Monday morning, and I'm used to this predicament because I face it routinely. Mondays mean I have to get the children to school. But I can come home and nap after that, all alone in an empty house. I can nurse my hangover in peace. I pick up my phone and see a text from my cousin Katie in Los Angeles. Missing our beloved Terry, I love you, heart emoji. My heart sinks into my stomach and I feel like I might vomit. Terry, my mom, today marks the 2nd anniversary of her death. My cousin's message isn't the only one that popped up, but I don't feel like responding to even my closest friends' condolences. They don't understand how I'm feeling. How could they? They all have their moms still. The loneliness overwhelms me. I put my phone back on my nightstand and roll over, hoping my husband Chris will volunteer to take the children to school this morning. I spend most of the day in bed, wallowing in grief. I scroll through social media and try to distract myself with Netflix, but mainly I just feel sorry for myself. The hangover is real, my stomach is churning, and my only aim is to get through this awful day. I purposely ignore anyone calling to check on me, and when flowers arrive from Chris in the afternoon, I want to roll my eyes. The beautiful pink and red bouquet from my favorite florist in Chelsea won't bring my mom back, so what's the point? 2 years. What had I done in the past 2 years? Absolutely nothing. It felt like I had just been drinking. Drinking. I look back on my Instagram posts from the last 2 years. How did I look so happy when I was so sad and broken? There are photos of my trips to Ibiza, Saint-Tropez, and Paris, skiing in the Italian Alps. A photo of me at brunch with posh Spice herself. I have a big smile on my face. How? I eventually scroll back to posts from 2018, right after my mom died. The royal wedding. Sky News, the UK-based news network, needed a peppy American to cover the wedding who could represent the excitement people felt in the USA. I watch my interviews from that time. I should have been given an Emmy for appearing that happy on screen when I was so miserable inside. There were so many days like this when I didn't want to get out of bed. There are comments on the post that say things like, "Your mom would be so proud." As we all know, Instagram is zero reflection of reality. So what had my life really looked like in the past 2 years? It looked like waking up with a headache, planning what I had to do to get through the day, hoping there was a lunch in my calendar so there would be an excuse to have a glass, or 3, of cold white wine at noon. And if there wasn't a lunch, trying to get to the afternoon as quickly as possible so I could open up a bottle of wine when the homework books came out after school. Everything looked so glossy and pretty on the surface, but it just wasn't. When the afternoon wine bottle popped open, I felt relief. I could go fuzzy again. I didn't have to handle all the painful stuff. I didn't have to think about the fact that I wasn't being a great mom. I didn't have to think about my collapsing marriage to Chris. I didn't have to think about how I didn't have a mom anymore, that my children no longer had their Grammy. The wine became a total and complete escape for 2 years. 2 years. I wonder where I will be in another 2 years if I keep drinking like this. My mind pings back and forth between, oh, come on, I'm fine. Not one person has called me out on my drinking. And this has to stop. Then, in an attempt to shut up the internal battle in my head, I quite literally shout to God, Jesus, I can't do this anymore. I certainly don't want to look or feel like this anymore. I don't want to spend every March 9th for the rest of my life nursing a hangover and hiding.